Okay, my name's Stephen Falcone, and I'm a mixed animal veterinarian.
All right. So first, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you have a busy schedule and lots of animals to attend to, so thank you for that.
Of course.
For our first question, what originally attracted you to this career or this field of study?
Sure. So, actually, I came in here in 7th grade with my mother and our dog, and Dr. Sweat was at this particular clinic, and he had a cow that had an issue going on, and he says, you want to come back here and look at this, check this out? I said, sure. I was 12 years old, so I went back there, and I thought, this is the most disgusting, awesome thing that I've ever seen in my life. And so from that point on, I started job shadowing down here with Dr. Sweat, and over a period of time, then started working in the summer times through my undergraduate career, and then so that's kind of what stimulated my interest, I guess, in being a veterinarian. So, yeah.
So for our second question, when did you know and figure out that this is what you're going to do, like with your career?
Sure. Like I said, I figured that out truly probably when I was an undergraduate at UNL. But it's a little unusual for somebody who's 7th grade to say, I want to be a veterinarian and actually follow through. Typically, I think they say even in college, you have it's more than 50% of people will change their majors in college anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's probably a little unusual case, but I could technically say that I've wanted to do this since I was in 7th grade. So.
Right. What led you to decide which school to attend when you were going to college?
Undergraduate-wise, I'd always kind of had my heart set at UNL, and there was a program for veterinarians at UNL that you do your first 2 years of vet school at UNL, and you do your last 2 at Iowa State. And that's kind of the in-state program for people who want to be veterinarians in the state of Nebraska. And so, I thought to myself, well, if I have to go through the admissions process through UNL, I might as well do my undergraduate career there too and get to know those type of people that are associated with that. Mm-hmm. So that was probably the biggest factor in why I chose UNL over another school. So, we should see real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Make sure you got room there. There you go.
All right. What would you say was the hardest aspect of your college experience at UNL?
The hardest aspect of college, so I guess I can answer this in 2 different ways. The first one is the hardest class I ever took was an undergraduate, and that was organic chemistry too. And the reason that was tough is it is just, it's a spatial thing, and sometimes those intellectual, those concepts are really difficult to grasp, I guess. And so class-wise, that was probably the toughest class I ever took. But vet school, if you're interested in a medical field, vet school, it's similar to medical school in that it's not necessarily intellectually difficult to grasp the concepts. It's more of you're thrown a lot of information really fast. And so you have to be able to memorize a lot of information, quickly because, obviously for a veterinarian, you've got multiple species that you're going to be taking care of, right? And so you have to be really proficient in all of those areas. So that's probably, I'd say vet school isn't intellectually difficult. It's just a lot of time and a lot of work.
A lot of studying. What would you say is your favorite part, or in your opinion, the best part of your job?
So the best part about my job is I get to do a ton of different things. So, if you go to medical school, a lot of times you have to specialize in something specific. So whether you're like a family doctor or whether you're a cardiologist or, et cetera, you name it. Well, as a veterinarian, I get to do anesthesia. I get to do surgery. I get to work on patients that are 2 pounds, and I get to work on patients that are 2,000 pounds, right? Mm-hmm. And so I like the variability and what I can do with that. And the other thing I like is, I come to work and I may have a schedule about what's going on, but I don't actually know, essentially, because people will call in and you'll have random cases. So it's never monotonous. You have something different every single day. Mm-hmm. And I think if I, personally, I couldn't work in a job where I kind of knew what was going to happen every single day. So I kind of like the adventure of it.
Mm-hmm. And then, in your opinion, what is your least favorite or the worst part of your job? If there is one.
Least favorite part of my job? I guess one of the things would be sometimes you think that you can save everything, and whether you're an MD or whether you're a veterinarian, That's just not the case. Sometimes you just can't save everything, and and that's frustrating, especially when you come out of vet school, because in vet school, in any type of school, whether you take a test or what, you either have the answer wrong or you have it right. So it's clear as black and white, right? So in the actual profession, there's a lot of gray area, and so that's probably the most frustrating part of the job for me, I guess.
Yeah. What would you say are the most important skills, or the most important skills for someone in the medical field to possess or going into?
Most important skills. Number one, you have to be a good people person. I don't care whether you're going to be an MD or whether you're going to be a veterinarian. Some people will be a veterinarian and say, "Well, I prefer to. I don't like dealing with people." Well, veterinary medicine, you're dealing with people a lot, right? And so anybody that says that, I really discourage them and say, "No, like in veterinary medicine, you deal with people a lot." So I'd say the number one skill is you have to be a good people person. Other than that, the next is you have to have a willingness to want to constantly learn. Because when you get done with school, your learning's not over. This is a process that you go through your whole life, and you're going to continuously learn new things. So I'd say those are the two biggies.
All right. And for our final question, if you could go back and change your career decision in school, would you, and why?
No. At this point, I wouldn't. And maybe that's partly because I'm still a new vet. So I really like my career, so I wouldn't change it at this point in time. If you told me I couldn't be a veterinarian, what would I change it to? I'd probably change it to something like teaching, because in teaching you constantly have to continue learning as well, and that's one aspect of my job that I really like.
All right, thank you.
Hey, no problem.